Hello there. My name is Yomi Sakuraba. I also go by Yomi, and today I have a Honkai Star Rail video for you guys. We're going to be taking on patch 3.3's Pure Fiction named Narrative Analysis. We were shooting for a sustainless 80k, as well as testing out Cipher's kit as I had just pulled her. She's at E0S1 for any of you interested, so let's get right into it. For the first half here, we are running the classic pairing of THerta and Anaxa. You guys know I love me some Anaxa. I try to use him in almost every comp possible. And it's just so nice that he works with THerta and she's really good at Pure Fiction. It's kind of just a nice pairing to begin with. For starters, this side really didn't present too much of a problem. The only thing that you kind of have to focus on is not getting blasted. And what I mean by that is there is a lot of AoE going on here. A lot of these ads have party-wide AoE, as well as if you don't manage to take care of some of the ads during the bosses, like Argenti specifically, you can definitely just get AoE'd to death. The big thing is to stagger your damage properly during the Argenti phase, just so you can take care of as many sword ads as you possibly can. That way you aren't tanking them every single time they come up. So here, generally, like, I mostly speed up THerta like 90% of the time. You might see me speed up Anaxa like once or twice, and that's just to generate enough energy for her. But besides that, we're just going to be focusing on buffing THerta as much as we possibly can, and obviously maximizing our SP usage just so we can get multiple hits in. That way she can just generate as much energy possible. One nice thing is if you can get this tech right here, which is basically skill into ult into skill again. For Pure Fiction specifically, it's a nice combo because the initial skill can kill an ad or two usually, and that kind of saves you some time as well. The other thing to note is during the Argenti phase, if you kill the Rose ads, whoever kills those ads specifically is going to get a stacking permanent, I believe, damage up buff. So make sure that whoever is targeting those roses is going to be your main DPS, and that you don't accidentally end up killing them with someone else, as that's probably going to be problematic. The other thing to note for Argenti specifically is whenever you kill one of the ads, you basically take 3% off of his HP bar. I know a lot of people were slightly worried about the HP pool here, but realistically, if you just pay attention to my current run, you can kind of just see when the roses start going down, the swords start going down, the ads start going down, we're really not doing a ton of damage to Argenti himself. More than anything, we are just doing damage via killing the ads. One thing to note is, with Anaxa, I try to keep this cycle of holding his ultimate as long as I possibly can, for specifically whenever the sword ads come out, and that's because I can't break them with anybody else in the party, but Anaxa can break them on his own with ultimate. So for example here, I'm not going to use his ultimate. I'm pretty sure I'm going to try to kill the ads with THerta, and then the next wave that comes out is going to get ulted on by Anaxa. Also doing it this way and just sending the ults after THerta sends hers just mean that she gets the energy coming in from these attacks, right? The actual Pure Fiction effect of the little box coming down and doing true damage to everything, it's not really too great. You just kind of have to be aware as well that that doesn't end up killing the ads, because I'm pretty sure if it does, you don't get the buff. But don't quote me on it. I don't exactly remember it too well. So you can see there, he used his ultimate, and he kind of just chunked the ads, broke them as well, and because Ruanmei's ult is up, we kind of get this big stagger effect, and now we're praying that we can get rid of them before they get back up so we don't tank that many AoEs. That was basically the trick that I found to doing this sustainless, is you can tank some of them, but you can't tank all of them. So you're gonna have to pick your battles here. The sword's dying first just means there's 3 roses on the field. Ideally she kills all of them, but if she can't, it's okay. As long as she keeps on getting this stacking damage up, that's all that's really gonna matter. She's gonna get to a point where every ultimate kills everything, and where every skill kills everything as well. See, so here, I'm probably gonna take a hit from Argenti himself, and then I'm gonna take the sword hits, but because we staggered everything properly, we're not gonna die because of it. Another thing to note is, I know we already went over it, but the initial waves, I really took no hits at all, if any. Probably took like 1 AoE. But you really have to make sure that you're not taking damage on the initial waves as well, because it's going to be a problem if you come in here with no HP. Besides that, there's not much to comment on this side. I am going to go ahead and start commenting on what's coming, because there is a lot of things that I want to go over, specifically because we are trying to go over Cipher's kit, as well as things that are very useful, not only in Pure Fiction, but just overall in general from her kit. So for the second half, we are running Cipher, and we are running her alongside Mydei. I built my Cipher as a sub DPS, so that means Pioneer of Dead Waters relic set, as well as Glamith, I think is what the planar set is called. I didn't have that many good relics, so she was sitting on an effect hit rate chest piece, as well as an energy regen rope. It's not the end of the world, but obviously it does affect her damage somewhat, so just keep that in mind. The biggest thing to note on this side is that Cipher fixes Mydei for everyone, basically. If you guys have heard the complaints about Mydei, is that Mydei generally just auto-battles, and it's kind of hard to min-max what you're trying to do, but there's basically a tech. As you're going to see here, she's going to kill somebody with a coin, and then the Patron debuff went on the ad that Mydei targeted. So basically, how Cipher works is there is always a Patron on the field, and whenever that Patron gets hit by either herself or an ally, she does the follow-up attack where she launches the coin. Because of this, some of the auto-battle AI was updated, and that's just to make her efficient if you click auto-battle. So what most characters are going to do is they're going to go ahead and target the Patron whenever somebody is marked, just to make sure that Cipher is getting her full value. So because of that, when Mydei is under his Vendetta state, aka just his enhanced state, he will prioritize the Patron target unless he just ulted somebody else and he's kind of hard locked. But besides that, for 90% of the time you're going to see that he focuses the Patron. So for example here, we're going to kill this ad, I'm pretty sure. And when it dies, somebody else is becoming a Patron. And whoever just became the Patron is whoever Mydei is going to target. Highest HP target generally, so it's going to be on the boss, and then Mydei is directly going to go on the boss. Because of this combo, Mydei Cipher kind of give you big value now, as there is a lot more control in terms of what you're doing. Because of that, I rate Cipher as an insanely good support. Obviously because I'm a Mydei stan, but outside of that, she is insanely good just as a generalist support. She can fit in most comps. It's just that specifically if you do own Mydei, she just shoots up because of the innate synergy that she has. You'll see that I'll be picking Patron targets every now and again, but now that we're on this phase and it's basically just boss and boss and boss, we are going to try and nuke the boss. But do just keep in mind if Cipher is targeting someone here and there, it's because we want to swap the Patron target if we can. That way Mydei can start clearing some of the ads, as his blast is only a 3 target hit and not a 5 target hit, right? The thing to note here is, kind of just like Argenti, there's a stack mechanic on Blast Boss coming up, the Swarm Boss, but this time instead of it being a stacking damage up buff on your characters, it is a stacking vuln on the boss every time you kill any of the bugs. So make sure that you're focusing the bugs down, that way you can start dealing big damage on the boss, right? Some closing thoughts, since we are kind of getting towards the end here. I definitely enjoyed this Pure Fiction, but it was mostly because it allowed me to play my favorite characters, and also because Cipher did really well for this. You can see me holding the ult here sometimes, and then I'm going to throw a big ult for the true damage stack on the boss, right? So I'm holding it here, Sunday's gonna speed Mydei up, Mydei's gonna go again, and then we're gonna send the ultimate and get a big hit. I know for Pure Fiction specifically, a lot of people prefer Zhao Shou, I think that's how you pronounce his name, because of his field, stacking the defense down on everybody else. But I will say that I prefer Cipher because of her sub DPS capabilities. I do believe that the little damage that she adds here and there go a long way, specifically when clearing ads, and specifically if you're not running a full 5-man AoE character, right? Running Mydei here, she kind of does clean up some ads every now and again with her ult or just with her follow-ups and stuff, so that's big value. I do see a future with her in multiple types of content. It's not just specific to PF. She's going to be very good at MOC as well as Apocalyptic Shadow. I'll try to keep her in mind just so I can run some showcases in the coming content with her, just so you guys can see how she does with not only Mydei, I do want to test her with Anaxa as well. For the people that are curious, since I didn't show it, I am running the universality buff. I believe that one is just based on, it gives you speed up, and you also start getting skill points back to back to back. For THerta and Anaxa, the skill points are obviously good, and for this side, it just keeps Cipher on using her skill as well as Sunday, and I don't have to worry about saving skill points in case Tribi needs to refresh her buff. Because of this though, considering that we do get speed from the buff, I had to change Tribi out. Normally I have her on the slow Tribi set, but because of this, I swapped her over to the quantum set, and she does have a substantial amount of speed. Not a lot, but more than what people are used to if they play slow Tribi, so whenever I do the build showcase, just keep an eye out for that in case you're interested. I know a lot of people complained about the HP inflation for this Pure Fiction, and I do have built characters, obviously. There are no Eidolons here outside of Sunday's E1, which I lucked out on, but I personally just think that if you play towards the stacking buff for Argenti and the stacking Vuln for this boss, as well as taking note that every time you kill a specific ad, the boss takes 3% damage, I don't think it's that much of an issue. You'll start to notice that the HP starts going down fairly quickly, right? With that though, I am gonna go ahead and head out here. If there's any content y'all would like to see, please let me know in the comments. And if you can, also please like and subscribe. It's really helpful for me to know what kind of content you guys end up liking the most when you do that, because I actually have the analytics to look into it. So I would really appreciate if you guys could hit me up with both of those, but outside of that, I'll catch you guys next time. I'll let you look at the build showcase, and I'm gonna head out. Peace, guys. Take it easy.